Hey everybody, I'm Joey Evans, and this list is going to be top 10 overlooked games of 2025. Now this is not overlooked by maybe you love these games, but I think going out to convention and stuff, these are games that I think have not gotten enough love. Now there's a bigger review of a lot of these on the channel, but I'm just going to kind of talk briefly, try to keep it under a minute for each game, but kind of mention something about these games to hopefully spark some interest, so you may want to go look them up elsewhere. But these, in my experience, are one of those things that people don't talk about these games. So these are my top 10 overlooked games of 2025. Okay, so first off is my number 10, and that is Crafting the Cosmos. That's one that actually shows up on our best covers. I think the cover is gorgeous. It's a midweight Euro, but it uses that Mancala mechanism. And I love this because the whole thing is you're crafting a cosmos. You are out there building the galaxy or whatever, the space stuff, you know, and you're using like gravity to like sling around stars, and the components on this are gorgeous. This game, when I started playing it, I was like, this is fantastic. I love everything about this. I love the recipe fulfillment. I love how they disappear and they fulfill. There's so many different things about this. There's deep resource management, good choices, and you get to build a galaxy and like nebula and all. It's fantastic. This one, people aren't talking about it, but they should, because this game is incredible. It looks good on the table. It plays well. It's got some very interesting decisions, and it's got some like kind of Mancala style stuff, which, have I mentioned I'm a sucker for? Anyway, that is Crafting the Cosmos. Okay, so my number 9 is kind of because of the success of the series, people have kind of tuned it out. And that's Horrified Dungeons and Dragons. This one right here, Horrified has its ups and downs. The first one being great, but Horrified Dungeons and Dragons is really good because this is themed like the first one was themed in that classic Universal horror. This is themed in the worlds of Dungeons and Dragons. So if you play D&D, or even if you're on the fringe of D&D and you know about it, you're going to get this game. Because the game has so many kind of, well, the theming and the homage to D&D. You get to see from the map where you get to go to all the different characters, how they do it. Like the wizard, of course, starts off squishy, then eventually he can be a boss. And there's no dip in quality in this as well. I think the quality of Horrified has gone back up with this. You can mix and match, but I really wouldn't, because it really is self-contained. This is what I like, because everything is right there themed around that. You even roll a die, you know, like, and if you get a 20, you get a perk card because you've just rolled a nat 20. So all of that happens in D&D happens in the Horrified world, which is really, really cool. And all the monsters, from the Mimic to the Displacer Beast to the Dragon, all of this is really thematically well done. Like the dragon can't enter certain areas because he's too big. You got to keep him out of the city. And all the mini games fit in. This is one to check out. Even if you like the first Horrified, but you kind of fell off a little bit, this is one to take a look at, because I think you'll be surprised at the mechanics and things in this. And again, the theme is Dungeons and Dragons, and it's Horrified. It's great. Anyway, that's my number 9. Okay, my number 8 is one that I would have slept on if I did not play it at Gen Con. This is Star Wars Super Teams. Star Wars Super Teams kind of has a hot streak look, where you look at it and you're like, oh, you see the figures in there, you're like, this probably is just a kid's game. It is not. This is a racing game, and you're racing these starships. And what's really cool is it's fun, it's easy to play. I think you can play with kids, or you can play with families or other adults. I've played that. But the catch-up mechanic is great, because it makes every race close. And the race itself is good, but then a lot of the things you get along the way, like the grappling, you can grab them and pull them forward, and then you go different areas. There's a lot to unpack in this game. And if you play with large amounts of people, it scales well. The boost cards really, really help. I mean, I like everything about this being a quick racing game in the Star Wars style of universe. And the minis are really neat. So this is one, if you're looking for that family weight, midweight game that's pretty quick, definitely check out Star Wars Super Teams. Okay, so my number 7 is one that actually I talked about a while back, but this is a newer version of it, and this is a small dungeon crawl in a tin. This is Dark Tomb Ice Chasers. Dark Tomb Ice Chaser, and again, the Dark Tomb series is a very ultra portable dungeon crawl. This is one that I honestly always have. I was going to grab it right now. I always have my backpack because if I go somewhere, if I want to play a dungeon crawl, this is what I do. And this is the next iteration of this. This is great because it can play solo or you can do co-op. Now again, everything is small, but each of these games in this series are just a little bit different, which I really, really love. Now, I don't want to ruin a lot of this because there'll be a larger review coming up on the channel on this, but this is one to not sleep on because if you like dungeon crawls, which I do, these right here, I start to collect because these are ones you can take with you. They're really, really nice. There's a lot of content variety, character variety. There's a lot of replayability in such a small tin, which really surprises me. It's like almost D&D in this small little tin. So I even play this with my daughter. She loves it too. So anyway, this is one to definitely check out. Dark Tomb Ice Chasers. Okay, number 6. This one might not be overlooked, but I guess it's not getting the buzz I think it should. This is Alibis. Alibis is by Allplay, and what I like to, it's really like So Clover meets Codenames, right? So it gives the best parts of all of those, which makes each of those games awesome because it's shorter and the scoring on this is fun and it builds. You don't think you can win, and then eventually you can pull it out. So if you play So Clover and if you play Codenames, this is the perfect mixture of those. This is one that I immediately added to my collection. It's a small box to put in there. This is one to definitely take a look because it's similar to those, but unique enough that I think it deserves a place in your collection because it does in mine. So I've got all 3 of those. Anyway, this is Alibis. If you haven't checked it out, do it. Okay, so my number 5 is one that the cover wouldn't grab you, but it is Guildlands. Guildlands is a kind of a city building tile laying game, but the whole thing about this is it's got a lot of like accessibility and a lot of depth and things, but the asymmetric powers on this are on like the next level, right? Because every single faction plays and scores completely differently. Now, there's an upside and a downside of that. The downside is it's like, well, I guess villainous you can say because with villainous you have to know how everybody wins. This one you kind of want to be cognizant of how everyone else is playing. But because of that, the replayability is just through the roof on this because you can play a different guild. Everything plays different. All the workers are very strategic. This also plays better at more players, which is something very odd for a game like this, a city building game. This is good. And also there's a lot of defense as well as offense. And I think that balances out pretty well. It doesn't feel like a take that game, but you do feel like there's a lot of interaction. And not necessarily blocking, but you're going to want to kind of go areas to block, to be there so someone can't extend their lead in that area. There's a lot going on this, and I love the asymmetry of this. This has flown under the radar, but this is one that really surprised me how good it is. So check it out. It is Guildlands. Okay, number 4 is one that, again, I wouldn't have grabbed, but this is, the theme on this is you are, I guess, olive farming. This is Oliva. Oliva? I don't know. It's about olives, which I love. It's great player interaction of this. It's a lot in a small package. You're going to watch what everybody else does. There's different paths to victory. There's straight points. You can engine build, or you can focus on the countries, the kind of set collection that goes out there. So there's a lot to unpack in a small little game. Now, ditching cards is good too, because ditching cards will raise the value of country cards out there. So you can kind of focus on scoring for different country cards that you have, or you can focus on your engine to start pulling more and more out. There's a bit of luck on what cards to play, what cards flip, but all of this flows together really, really well. It's deck building, it's engine building, so it's kind of like those two merged together, which I love both of those. It's accessible, very easy to learn, easy to teach. This is a good balance of simplicity and strategy, which I think makes this one shine. And this has also been overlooked because it's a very different theme, which again is a plus. So also, we should all like olives. Let's be honest. Olives are fantastic. They're like God's food. He gave us. He's like, here, the perfect food. Olives, eat. Put them on tacos. Yeah. Anyway, that's Oliva. That's what it is. Okay, my number 3 is one that I really love the artwork on. This is Fliptoons. Fliptoons has that kind of Cuphead style artwork that I don't know why. Every time I see it, it gives me pause. I'm like, all right, let's see what they did here. It's really fun, and I love this. I mean, there's everything like the pig in this is the only thing that's kind of take that. You can stick it in someone else's deck. And the whole thing, it's kind of an auto battler where you're building your deck and then you start to flip them and you're going to get points depending on where everything shows up at. So you're going to want them to show different areas and maybe not elsewhere, but you're kind of taking that chance on that flip to see how your grid scores. So you can kind of lean one way or another. And what's cool is when you start to draft these cards, you can see everyone is kind of going a different direction because you're going to start very similar with the cards you have, but you're going to see people take different animals and really, really enjoy the direction that they're going to go. And in the next game, you can go somewhere else because there's a lot of replayability on this. So I really love this. I ended up playing this with my daughter and son-in-law, and I wasn't sure if they would love it, and they just adored it, which is really cool. It's really good. The artwork is fantastic. Small box. Maybe a filler style of game, very budget friendly. It's got really fun combos, replayability, got nostalgic cartoon Cuphead art style. I really like this, so definitely check this out. This is Fliptoons. All right, my number 2 is the deduction style game. This is Core of Discovery. Core of Discovery is from, I think, off the page game. Anyway, the artwork is it's based on a comic series, which I have not read, but which is odd, I should, because I like a lot of the games they put out. But anyway, this is fantastic. This one is, I feel like it's similar to Search for Planet X, Lost Species, that type of thing. But I think I enjoy this a bit more because there's a bit more going on. Now, this seems to be sometimes more unforgiving, and it's a lot harder because you are more struggling to survive rather than just trying to deduce certain things, which I think adds a whole new element because before it's just straight deduction. This one, it's like survival meets deduction, which is pretty cool. It works together really well. I love the puzzle this creates. There's a lot of maps. I can see a lot of expansions coming, and it all works together really well. And the training mission on this is great for kind of getting up to speed, for getting ready for those harder missions that are going to show up later to make sure you survive but don't die quick. I really like this. This is definitely one to check out. This is Core of Discovery. Okay, this is where my number 1, I think, most overlooked game is Leaders. Leaders is one that I played. It seems like at first I thought it was almost a chess or Onitama style game that I played with Chris a couple times. And I'm like, I don't know if I like this. And I played it again. I'm like, I really like this. And then later I'm like, I really like this. And I reviewed it. And then now I'm going back to it. I'm like, I really, really like this. So the whole thing about this is you have leaders, of course, and you're going to get different characters and they can do different things, but they're very thematic in what they can grab. One guy can grapple, one guy can pull you towards it, which is grapple, and then another person can negate the powers of another person you have. So you're going, it's 1v1. It's very quick. They're tight 2-player duels on this, but everything plays differently. And I like the drafting in the fact that you can draft certain characters. And there's also a way that you can kind of draft and say, no, you can't use this one. So you can remove people if you're tired of them using a certain person. And because of this, everything just keeps going quickly. Now, you can lock up on this, but it typically is a short 10, 15, 20-minute game. Could be a 5-minute game, right? If you just take a chance and hope nobody sees or somebody doesn't see something. This one surprised me on how well it plays. A lot of deep decisions in such a short game. This is great production. It's got boards, standees, cards, everything in it. It's very high quality. I really like this game. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it and haven't tried it. Definitely check this out. It's got smart drafting. It's got unique powers. Definitely check this out. This is Leaders. Okay, so that is it. That is my top 10 overlooked games. Which games do you think are overlooked out there? Which games are you playing that you don't see a lot of people playing? Because those are honestly, I think those intrigue me. Because a lot of times there are these diamonds in a rough that is either a small publisher or a larger publisher that has had another bigger release. So you don't typically see the other release. I love to find games like that. So if you know of any, definitely put them in the comments because I'm always looking for stuff like that. So anyway, I'm Joey Evans and I'll see you later on the channel.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.